Because of them, 5 million people do not have polio. Because of them, families will not have to beg for a meal tonight. Because of them, thousands of high schoolers will never be known as dropouts. They are the 1.2 million members of Rotary, everyday people working together to push hope forward. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Rotary leaders, district governors-elect, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be here today to share with you some of the experiences that drew me to the Rotary Centers for International Studies in Peace and Conflict Resolution, and what I have since then learned as a Rotary World Peace Fellow. Before becoming a Rotary World Peace Fellow, I had the privilege and indeed the honor to live in Lebanon for 3 years and serve one of the most advanced and certainly experimental agencies of the United Nations system, the United Nations Development Programme, the so-called UNDP. UNDP is continuously engaged in finding innovative and alternative ways to foster social development, equity, and justice worldwide. There is probably nothing more rewarding than to work as a development operator in a post-war-torn society. To see, in other words, how a country so bloody devastated by a civil war still finds the courage, the passion, the determination to re-emerge, and to trust that things can indeed change for the better. That was my Lebanon in 2002. The numerous passionate discussions with thousands of civil society organizations over the future of this country, the emotional stories of survivors of the civil war, the implacable questions of youth over what we call the Westerner life, and the inevitable evenings with Muslim and Christian friends talking about identity, peace and war in a globalizing world. I left Lebanon because of this fellowship, because at a specific point of my career, I felt overwhelmed with the complexity of issues such as identity, religious fundamentalism, failure of development organizations. And I desperately wanted to seek innovative ways to address old-fashioned problems. People all around the world talk about the Rotary World Peace Fellowship Program and praise it. In my many travels during these 2 years as a Peace Fellow, I have met Syrians, Palestinians, Lebanese, Turks, Kurds, Fijians, Pacific Islanders. People who ask me with vivid curiosity, what is the motive behind this program? Why, in other words, people so successful as you Rotarians should want to invest in peace in countries so poorly strategic or so desperately abandoned. After 2 years of interaction with this great organization, I finally have my answer. And this lies in the profound conviction that peace without understanding cannot be achieved. Peace without educating minds and hearts becomes a mere dream. Because after all, serving others above ourselves, and helping people to grow as human beings and peace operators will benefit the entire world and not only one nation. That's why the Rotary World Peace Fellowship sets the example and the standard for a new social contract between rich and poor all over the world, and shows what can be achieved through the common sharing of resources and capabilities. I would like to tell you about some of my personal and professional experiences to give you a better sense of who we are as Peace Fellows, where we come from in terms of professional expertise, and why we decided to quit our jobs to study at one of the Rotary Centers for International Studies. I come from Modena, a very rich town in northern Italy, and also, by the way, very famous for the balsamic vinegar. In the 90s, the municipality initiated a gradual integration of migrants, mainly from North and West Africa, but also from China and Asia in general, into the labor market without attempting to integrate them at the social level. New ghettos quickly sprang up, one for Chinese, one for Moroccans, and so on. Parts of the city became off-limits for the white community. At the university, I became engaged with different volunteer associations working to promote dialogue between the local municipality and the new citizens. I started to consider a career in conflict prevention and reconciliation. And I then moved to Rome, where I got a post-university degree in development studies and work at one of the largest non-governmental organizations in Italy called Un Ponte Per, which literally in English means a bridge to. I served as desk officer for Turkey, Lebanon, and Palestinian territory, often participating in missions to monitor development projects. I was sent to the Palestinian territory in Gaza Strip, in Rafah precisely, the last refugee camp along the border between Egypt and Israel, facing a situation for which I was not only completely unprepared, but also powerless, and therefore easily manipulated. Rafah, at that time, May 2000, was controlled partially by Hamas and partially by the PLO, each other accusing of corruption and ineptitude. The situation was therefore difficult because of social deprivations for the population, as well as the power struggle within the Palestinian community itself. The situation in Rafah demonstrated to me the complex environment in which Peace Fellows are asked to operate on a daily basis. Lack of understanding creates biased attitudes, which undermines credibility with the local authorities, impairs the capacity to make a concrete impact, and leads to flawed analysis of the major causes of conflicts. Furthermore,